Good evening, Drew.
Whew. Oh no. Oh no, everything's crashing.
Oh no.
Restore pages. Okay. All right. Oh shit. No. What? What is happening? Like literally I go to type a word. What is this?
Is this Edge? Are you using Edge?
I'm using Edge Chromium.
Okay, so I also sometimes use Chromium Edge, and if I type anything into the search bar, it crashes.
That is a real life thing that is happening right now for me.
Okay, so it's not just me. Now if your home screen happens to have like a search bar in it, you can use that and still go. But I can't type anything in the address bar right now. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
It happened to me like moments ago, and I thought I was going crazy.
It just started happening to me. I wonder if there's like a broken build or something.
Yep.
Man, I'm gonna be accused of being a shill, but I use that browser on my Mac. I use it on my computer. On my PC. I use that browser pretty exclusively for work stuff. I just find that Safari gets weird with some things still. I mean, any major website it's going to work fine, but like some internal sites and like some SharePoint type stuff, it still freaks out on. And I don't like using Chrome anymore. I don't know. Like I don't use Chrome on any platform anymore. I don't know. I just kind of gravitated away from that. I was on the Firefox train for a little while, but yeah, I'm not a fan of that either.
Yeah, I use Safari for like 95% of the stuff, but I use Edge for that other 5%, and I like it quite a bit. Yeah.
Well, so my thing is, like, for anything personal that I'm doing on my Mac, I use Safari. For anything work-related, I use Chromium. I use the Edge Chromium browser.
I used to have that separation as well, then I got lazy, and I just try to do as much as one browser as possible. But I get that separation.
But here's what really messes me up. Like, my default browser on my Mac is still Safari, so like I'll click an email or like I'll click like in an email and like, you're not signed in with your work account. You can't open this. And it's just like crap.
App. Oh, there is a Mac app that lets you select which browser to use every time you click on a link from an app.
Tell me more.
Hold on. What is it called? Bumper. Bumper.
Oh, it's not like BUMPR. It's like Bumper.
Oh no, you're right. There is no E.
Of course.
Because BUMPR.
Oh, guess what? I tried to type that in my search browser and the whole browser crashed. Restore pages. Oh, that takes me back to my Google Doc. All right. Let's Bumper. I'll type that in the search.
I'm gonna put it up. Yeah.
Okay. Bumper is a Mac app that lets you choose where to open links. Click on a web link and you get a menu of your browsers like this. Click on a mail link and you get a menu of your mail apps. Huh. Is this free?
$2.99. $2.99.
What? Oh, capitalism. Is this worth $3? Is this worth $3?
I don't know.
But it's the opposite of free. It's the opposite of free. It costs money.
I mean,
$3 for a context menu, and I'm only going to use half of it because, like, first of all, who uses the mail app anymore? Number one,
I do.
Garbage. Well, what do you use as your primary email account? Gmail? You use Gmail?
Yeah. No, I don't like the Gmail app at all. Not even once.
No. God, no. I would never install a native Google app. Like, don't even at me. I'm talking about you don't even use the web app.
Nope. What
do you use for your what do you use for your work email?
So on my computer, I rock. I use Outlook for my work email and Mail.app for my personal stuff. But on my phone, I route everything through Mail.app, and I only open up Outlook when I need to do something weird with like an appointment. I like having everything in one place on my phone because the notifications all just flow through, and it's just it works better for me. But
maybe I'm in the minority here, but I do all of my personal email in a web browser in Safari, if for what it's worth, to do with email, like personal email. So scheduling things on my calendar, I don't like. I have my Mac calendar app tied to my Google Calendar, and like my contacts and all that stuff is synced. But I don't do anything with my email natively, like my personal email natively on my Mac. Sort of for two reasons. One, because my device is Intune managed, and like I'm sure my privacy is respected. But I've never liked dealing with Gmail in the native Mac Mail app. And two, like. As much as I like to dump on Google, I sort of like what they do with like separating out like the email versus like the updates versus the promos and like kind of the filtered like inboxes that it kind of learns about. I like that aspect of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't like using a web page anytime I could use an app. I like apps better. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like an 80-20 rule for me. I mean, and then, like, for work, I use Outlook for everything and Teams and stuff. And then, because I'm on the two-phone life, I've got the official, like, Outlook Mac, or not Mac, but iOS client. And that works pretty well. But back in the day when you and I were work colleagues, I used my mail app for everything. Personal and or on the phone, let me be clear. I would use the iOS mail app for everything.
I'll tell you what, the Outlook app on the iPad is phenomenal.
Is it?
Yes.
I really, I've got an iPad sitting next to me that literally the only thing I use it for is when I'm streaming so I can monitor chat. Like that is literally its purpose. I don't have like a fancy iPad Pro or anything.
Yeah.
But that might change.
In fact, I've spent some time sitting on the couch watching hockey, catching up on emails with my iPad and Outlook. So.
Oh, can you? So it's been a while since I used an iPad, but you can do like the split screen thing now, where like you could be doing email and watching hockey. That's pretty dope.
Well, I watch hockey on my television, but I catch up on email. Yeah, but yes, I totally. But what I do is I have Outlook in like 2/3 of the screen, and the other third is Twitter, because a big part of me watching hockey is watching all the commentary from like the analysts and stuff on Twitter.
Yeah.
So that's how I rock that. But yeah, it's very nice. In fact, don't tell the listeners, but I'm watching hockey right now.
Well, I mean, listen, I'd be lying if I didn't say my eyes and fingers wandered during this podcast as well. I mean, it's like this is about as low effort as you can get. I mean, if you're 60 episodes deep in our podcast and you haven't realized that by now, like shame on you.
Yeah.
Like,
well, anytime there's been a Blue Jackets game on and we've recorded, I've been secretly watching hockey while we record. So
how are your Blue Jackets doing? You pretty pleased?
Well, I don't know yet. Well, so far, this is their one exhibition game they get. They are playing the Boston Bruins, and they are currently up 3-1. So I'll take it.
Yeah.
Considering that everyone thinks the Blue Jackets are gonna, shit the bed playing the Maple Leafs. So,
Well. So I'm not watching hockey right now because I'm a professional. But are they? What are they doing for? Like, are they piping in fan noise, like synthetic crowds, or what are they doing?
So it depends. So the only like media broadcasters are from like one from Canada and one from like United States. So it's like NBC. So some of the games are on NBC and NBC Sportsnet, and they pipe in crowd noise, and I hate it. I think it's stupid. The region, like right now, I'm watching this on Fox Sports Ohio, and I guess like all of the local stations have an option to include the crowd noise or not. Luckily for me, at least for this game, Fox Sports Ohio has opted to not play the crowd noise. But like the NHL's done really nice. Like the arena looks really cool. They've covered up a lot of the seats so you can't see them empty, and they put extra like screens and lights to make it cool. They play music and chants and like goal celebration music and stuff. So you get that part of the game. I just the crowd noise is too fake for me. Like it's like I can see with my eyeballs there are no fans in the stands. Like you're not fooling me.
Right.
It's
It's like it's a weird like dissonance thing, right? You can't disengage.
Yeah. I don't like it, but I've watched a handful of hockey games so far. They're all exhibition. The real games don't start until Saturday. But yeah, it's actually been nice watching hockey. So, oh,
Yeah, I knew you were excited about it. All right.
yeah, it's been a good week.
Okay, so let's start with some show follow up because you sent me a really good email today, and I was really happy. That email gave me the happies.
Yes.
So what have we got so far?
So from the audience, all we've gotten. So what we're talking about is our show art follow up. Drew, if you didn't listen to last episode, Drew lovingly commissioned the wonderful artist Kevin Budnick to draw some new headshots / avatars for Drew and myself, and they are spectacular. And he's also going to do some new podcast artwork, which I'm very excited about. And we gave our listeners some homework. I had some homework that I did at the last minute because the last minute is still on time. But she sent us a rough sketch of something that she thought would be a good idea for the podcast artwork.
Yeah, and it was really good.
It was really good. Yeah, we really appreciate it, Nikki. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I had to compose a list of some things that I thought might be interesting in the for the show art. Nikki and I's list did kind of there was some synergy there. But man, the one thing I keep coming back to over and over again is corn dogs.
Yeah. We haven't really talked about corn dogs much. Okay, so here was the idea I had, right? Because I've been thinking about this a little bit too.
Okay.
So what and like, so first of all, put yourself in Kevin's shoes for a minute, right? This is the email you're gonna get, and you're gonna be like, what the hell are these guys doing on this podcast, right? What I was thinking was like a poster of like a battle jacket, right? Of somebody imagine like someone takes a picture of somebody's battle jacket that they're wearing like from behind so you can see all the patches. Mm-hmm. And like you could have a corn dog patch, you could have a leaky computer patch, you could have like that to me sounds like that would be pretty good. Like different patches that represent different things on the show, right? So I mean not a ton of patches, like 3 or 4 really good patches.
Okay, like maybe like a meeple.
Yeah, exactly. Like a meeple could go on there, or like your couch.
My mailbox.
Yeah, your an outline of a mail, like a patch that used to be a mailbox.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So I like that idea. I also liked Nikki's idea that she sent the email about. So yeah, I would like to get something over to him probably early next week. So if you haven't sent any ideas in yet, number 1, shame on you for not listening to the show, and 2, shame on you for not sending anything in. So yeah, that's something I want to get done sort of sooner than later. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. That man, it's so good.
Yeah, dude. Every time I look at my avatar, I smile. Man, it's wonderful.
He crushed yours.
I cannot say thank you enough times. Like, just it's so awesome.
It's a really good one, man. It's a really good one. Now, will you use that?
I like yours too. Yeah. So
mine's okay. Are you going to use yours as like your work avatar too for like Jira or Azure DevOps or any other?
I have the places where I can change it. I've changed most of them. So yeah.
Okay. Yep. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I just need to go through and like update my Gravatar, because a lot of them just pull stuff from Gravatar, and I just need to do it there, and then that will trickle down in a lot of places. But
man, talk about Gravatar.
Fluttershy is out. Kevin Budnick's portrait of me is in.
Oh yeah, what was I? Oh crap! You assigned me one because I didn't pick. Do you remember? Did you assign me like a graphic in Azure DevOps or something, or Jira? You assigned me something. I forget. My coworker was like an Apache helicopter or something like that.
Oh, okay, hold on. You were a hedgehog.
I was a hedgehog, that's right.
You were a hedgehog wearing a birthday hat, yes.
That's what it was. Now we're going to dive into some things that like we've been trying to talk about for like 3 weeks, and
I'm so excited about this one.
Yeah,
this one could take up the rest of the episode and I'd be fine.
Yeah, well, put it this way. I would love to give you an update about my handheld video game console, but it still hasn't like gotten to DHL e-commerce yet, and I am
You'll get it.
Completely out of patience. Like
you'll get it.
Today at 1:18 p.m. I was on Amazon.com ready to buy another one that would be here Monday, and I stopped myself.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I stopped myself. And you want to know why? You want to know why I stopped myself? Because the only one that I could get by Monday was the rose gold one.
Oh, that's not a good one.
It looks okay. Yeah. I'd be okay with it. I mean, I'm going to end up with two of these things because I feel like this other one's never going to leave California.
You'll get it.
Paul, it's been 7 working days, and it hasn't moved.
Yes. You'll get it. It's literally, when it's shipped, it was in China. It had to come on the boat and then go through customs.
Did it come on a boat or did it come on an airplane?
I saw I think it comes on boats. I think airplanes are too expensive. I could be wrong, though. I saw a high score of 58 days on Reddit.
Oh my God. Don't even tell me that. Yeah. Why would it take... Oh my God. If it takes 58 days... I think it was going to Brazil
or something, but no, you'll get it. You'll get it.
Oh my God, Paul. If it's going to take 2 months for me to get this thing, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind.
No, you will get it. You'll get it, and you'll be happy. Yeah.
So hang on a second, though. I do have a follow-up question for you, because when I was complaining about this publicly on Twitter, you dropped this on me. You SSH'd into it, which tells me it now has a network connection.
So no. So what you can do is, if you hold down B while you power it up, it enables a USB networking mode. And then you can connect it via the USB cable. You have to use the charging port, not the other port, for this particular feature. Again, this is a very weird device. And then you can SSH into it. I didn't actually do anything with the SSH.
Is it like a USB like null modem type thing?
Yeah, basically it just grabs an IP address and it uses like local networking to. On Windows, you're supposed to have to install a driver. I read this weird. He had to install this weird thing for Mac OS. I'm like, I bet you I don't. And then I just SSH into the IP address that it said it had, and it worked just fine. So, yeah.
I sure would like to experience that.
Yeah. Originally, I started looking into that because I thought I was going to have to make a symlink, because I had done it. Just remember, if you want certain things to work correctly, just make sure when you replace that second SD card that you keep the name SD card as the name of the drive in lowercase. If it's anything other than that, there's a handful of things that don't like to work.
Wait a second. The secondary SD card, not the OS drive, like the card that has like your video games that fell off the truck.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And that was I could not get it to be lowercase with any software I was using. I'm like, I'm just going to make a freaking symlink. And then I tried one more thing and it worked. And all is good now.
So you had to completely rename the volume.
Yeah, it was just stupid. I keep meaning to. When you get it, I'm going to send you the link to this app. That basically
when I get it,
when you get it. It's a little backup utility because like all of your like save states and screenshots and stuff will be on that first drive.
Right.
And this basically just makes a copy of them on the external drive in case one dies. So I thought that was a nice little feature because what's the chances of 2 SD cards failing at the same time? Practically none. But one, I could see one failing. So, yeah.
Pretty cool.
I want to talk about the thing. Oh, you want
to talk about this thing? The thing you highlighted.
I want to talk about this thing.
All right.
I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it.
It's been a while since we've talked about board games on this podcast, so buckle up because we're gonna go pretty deep into some board game stuff here. So
strap in.
Yep. So there was a series of tweets that I saw. Was it last week? Maybe it was the week before, where they have officially announced Pandemic Legacy Season 0. If you're listening to this podcast and none of those words make sense, I guess the best place to start here is there's a board game called Pandemic, and it is a great gateway game into modern board gaming because it was the first game I ever played that was cooperative, like a cooperative board game where you're playing against a system and you're not actively playing against the other players. And that's a pretty mind-bending experience, because if you grew up playing like Monopoly and Sorry and Candyland and all these other things that were like your goal is to beat the other people, it's like you sort of win and lose as a group. And it's a great game. It's strikingly relevant for the world we live in these days.
Turns out.
Yeah, and the goal of the game is you are trying to cure 4 diseases. Mm-hmm. And you need to do that before basically there's only really one win condition, but there's like 3 or 4 different lose conditions.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you're like, oh, this is going to be easy, and then the game just steamrolls you. Now, legacy format games is something that's relatively newer to board games. And Paul, why don't you sort of explain the legacy aspect of a board game?
Yeah, so a legacy board game is a board game that you play multiple times. And as you play the game will subtly change. So you may get new rules introduced. You may get some new components. And the way that the Pandemic series has handled legacy games, I think Pandemic Legacy was the first like widely commercial legacy game. Or no, Risk Legacy was. Never mind. Mm-hmm. But Pandemic Legacy, how it handles it is you play the game over a series of months over like a given year. So, January, February, months. Everyone knows months. Decisions and choices you make affect the board by literally putting stickers. There's a big sticker sheet, and you're putting stickers on the board to kind of modify things and keep track of state. And really, the best is there's these series of boxes, and you don't know what's in the box, and every box has a number. And sometimes you're playing the game, and it says, open a box. And then you open the box, and there's new components, and there's new cards, and there's new stickers, and there's new... It's...
yeah.
Opening those boxes may be like some of my favorite board game moments, period.
Well, part of
the unexpected and the way the game twists and turns and evolves.
Well, what makes it incredibly cool is, you play the game, right? When you first play, so there's Pandemic, right? And there's expansions that go along with Pandemic, and then there's Pandemic Legacy, right? And you play the first couple games of Pandemic Legacy, and it's the same game you've always played, right? You start out with the exact same win conditions that you always have. So if you're a kind of a seasoned Pandemic player, you're like, all right, well, we know what we're doing. But then after that first game, when you get to the end of the game, you have to like draw a card out of a deck, and it will say, open this box, or peel this sticker back and put it in your rule book. And now the game has changed for the duration of the other games you play until you get to the quote unquote end of the game. And that's
and all of these like new components and stuff, there's a narrative behind it, right? Game is telling you a story as you're going through and like drawing these cards and reading the text, and like the new components fit in to feed that story, and like you really end up like really buying into that narrative because of that, I think. Yeah. And the theme of the game. Yeah.
Yeah. And as the game progresses, you sort of uncover, okay, so I guess can we do this without spoilers? Is it possible?
I don't think so.
All right. So here's the thing. If this interests you, right, I would say probably skip this next part, because the whole sort of plot of maybe we can do this without spoilers. Hold on, let me think about this.
Okay, all right.
So
yeah, I wouldn't want to spoil it for anybody.
We can't. We can't do
like
that.
Light early game spoilers, but like
yeah. Here's the thing: when you get to the end of Pandemic Legacy Season 1, there is kind of a reckoning, and depending on how well you did at the game, there's multiple endings. Sort of. Like if you played really well, you get one flavor of the ending, and if you did like really, really poorly and like the government had to help you a bunch, like you get a different ending, right? Yeah. And I remember that when I played Pandemic Legacy Season 1, it was me and you, Paul, and 2 other people. And that was kind of our dedicated group that we played. And, we did fairly well.
Yeah.
So you can expect to get anywhere from 12 to 24 games out of Pandemic Legacy Season 1. If you... literally, if you lose every game, you get 24 games. If you win every game, you'll get 12 games.
Yeah. Basically, you can try each month twice before moving on. Yeah.
So then, so that was kind of a roaring success. Very critically acclaimed. It's a great game, great story. Some of it is actually pretty tense. It gets incredibly challenging. Like the game Pandemic... Yes. The regular game of Pandemic has some levers and knobs that you can sort of fiddle with to make the game easier or harder. This game just kind of gets progressively harder. But, if you start losing a lot of games in the row, the game sort of makes itself a little easier to help you compensate. So there's a little bit of that going on. But regardless, it's Pandemic Legacy Season 1 is just a beautiful game. So if you have played regular Pandemic, but you haven't played Season 1, go get it. Now's the time, right? If you're going to be, locked up in a place playing games with people, now's the time. And I would say that it's definitely worth getting and playing. And then we get the Pandemic Legacy Season 2, which, again, sort of follows the same Pandemic formula, but kind of not. So, Paul, you want to take a stab at trying to explain Season 2? Again, we have to be careful here of spoilers, but...
Yeah. Season 2 had a lot of the same Pandemic mechanics. So, the way you're if you ever play a Pandemic, it's you're basically trying to collect cards. A lot of the cards, the cards basically match cities. You're trying to prevent, outbreaks and stuff. Season 2 had the same kind of mechanics, but it had a very different theme. It was more about making sure places had, correct me if I'm wrong, resources, like food and supplies, rather than stopping diseases, at least at first. And one of the things that Season 2 did that Season 1 did not. In Season 1, basically, you're playing against the continental U.S., and you can see the entire board, right? You can see all the cities coast to coast. Where Season 2, you basically had a smaller part of the board, and you uncovered part of it, again, by putting stickers down as the game went on. So you had a little bit of an exploration aspect as well. I'm afraid to say anything else without getting into spoiler territory. But it kept the spirit of Pandemic, but twisted it a little bit. Is that a good explanation? I don't. It's so hard to explain without going. And then there's these things, and you have to do that.
Yeah. If you haven't played those games, we would be doing you a big disservice to sort of spoil it. However, if we're going to be completely fair about it, Season 1 is way better than Season 2.
Oh, absolutely. I enjoyed Season 2, but it does not hold the same place in my heart that Season 1 did.
And we certainly can't dance around this issue either, is you're going to pay $70-ish for this game that you're probably only ever going to play 12 to 24 times.
Yep.
You're probably not going to go back and play it after you finish it. Now, listen, that's extremely hypocritical of me to call out, because I have 2 shelves full of board games in my basement that more than 9/10 of them I think I've played 3 times, right? So, don't go by what I'm saying, right? Because I'm going to buy it anyway because I'm an idiot. But, that's the thing. You're going to get through this game, and it's going to be like you finish your favorite TV series. You're going to get to the end, and you may probably go back and watch it, but you sort of know what happens, and it's still magical, but it's just not the same. And you can't.
It's still well worth it.
You can't replay it. Yeah, you can't really. There's no way to reset it. In other words,
no. But if you're into board games, like that whole hobbyist kind of indie, artisanal, high production value board game lifestyle like Drew and I are, it's worth it. It's worth every penny. You will not play anything like, especially like season 1. You just won't play anything like it. It's incredible. Yeah, you won't feel cheated after that. After December, the last game you play, you will not feel like you got cheated.
No,
you'll feel like, yep, that was worth every cent.
Nope, it's great. Which now leads us to this new announcement of they are now releasing Pandemic Legacy Season 0, and this is interesting for a bunch of reasons. So first of all, Season 0, right? It is a prequel to Season 1 and Season 2. Because, again, without trying to give anything away here, there's really nowhere for the game to go after Season 2. We sort of have done everything pandemic related we could probably do at the end of Season 2. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
So this new game, Season 0, they're calling it a prequel. And you have not had to have played Season 1 or Season 2 to enjoy this game. And I'm looking at the webpage right now. There'll be a link in show notes that sort of talks about the game. And this ticks so many of my boxes. I don't even know where to start here. So this one, it takes place in 1962 at the height of the Cold War.
The Cold War.
So they basically have taken Pandemic, and what they have done is they have sort of layered like a CIA versus KGB thing on top of this game. So the blurb here, and trust me, this isn't a spoiler, because if there's one thing I've learned about Z-Man Games and the people that design these Pandemic Legacy games is that I promise you what this game starts as is not what it's going to finish as. So
yeah, exactly.
So basically, it's 1962, and apparently the Soviets are developing a new bioweapon, hence the pandemic tie-in. But instead of combating the virus, you're basically combating spies. So it seems like when I read this thing, what I read is instead of walking around the board and trying to contain virus outbreaks, you're trying to go around the board and prevent spies from disrupting the balance of power in the Cold War. And
you're stopping communism.
You're stopping communism. Now, here's the thing that, like, when I first saw the board, I tried to throw my credit card through my monitor because I needed it. I needed it right away because the board looks like the board from Twilight Struggle, and and Twilight Struggle is probably the best game I've ever played. Like, literally the best game I've ever played.
I don't think I've ever played it.
So Twilight Struggle is a 2-player game. It is the United States versus the Soviet Union, and what it is it takes the events of the Cold War and it turns it into a game. And it is a card-based game where the deck of cards are basically every single significant event that happened from 1946 to 1990. And the way you play the game is you play a card which gives you what we call operational points. You use those operational points to exert influence on a giant map. And at various points in the game, you score points based on like how much of the map you control. There's way more to it than that. And Paul, if you ever want to play it, I will gladly teach you because this isn't hyperbole. It is, for my money, the best game I've ever played.
Okay.
And it's kind of like they have, back when we were allowed to go outside and do things, like they have a national championship or a worldwide championship of Twilight Struggle. Oh. And it's been like the same 3 people that have won it every single year. Because it's a game that you can master. Like it is, there's not a lot of, at it, yeah. The only luck in the game is what cards you are dealt. But the cards in the deck, everybody knows what they are. And you sort of have a rough idea of when they're going to be played, so it turns into this jockeying of position and a little bit of gambling on what your opponent is trying to do. And it's a phenomenal game. But anyway, we're getting off topic. But okay. The board of this looks strikingly similar to the board of Twilight Struggle, which I don't think is an accident.
Definitely, drawing inspiration from.
Yes, yeah. I don't think that's an accident. And it looks like it's going to be, I'm excited. I'm all in. I've already pre-ordered it, and they haven't said when the launch date's going to be. I'd be surprised if it's this year.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. I don't think it'll be this year either.
Wait a minute. They already have the rule book. The rule book's already out. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, I just went to the website.
I just saw that too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no. During the game, you collect and discard sets of city cards with matching affiliations to create teams. Teams are groups of covert CIA operatives. And they live in a van. What?
Yeah, there's little van components.
There's little vans. Get in the van, loser. Oh, and look, there's the rulebook place sticker here. Paul. Paul. We're in, man.
Oh, yes.
Boy, this rulebook is only 16 pages.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of rules to Pandemic. They keep it pretty lean.
No, and I'm reading the rules, and it looks like the same rules. Just they've subbed in different terms for different things.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, so yeah, there's the rulebook. Let's go ahead and link that bad boy in the show notes.
Oh.
Yeah. So at any rate, yeah, this is a thing that I know that I'm going to be playing. Paul, I would love to get the band back together for this. So me, you, and the two friends that played this last time, we're gonna have to make that happen.
I agree. Yes.
And we will be playing through that. So this has kind of been an extended commercial for the game Pandemic. Listeners, you owe it to yourself to go play regular Pandemic. I'm not saying go spend $80 on Pandemic Legacy, but you owe it to yourself. Yeah. You probably have a friend or a coworker that has Pandemic, probably within arm's reach at all times. Like, it is such a great game to teach people about board games. And yeah, I'm excited for this. I don't know, Paul, what do you think?
I'm so excited about this. I love the theme. I love the artwork. I love looking at the components look good. I'm just excited to get back in there and save the world again. Like, yeah. And like, I mean, sometimes cooperative games have like, you have to watch for the one, like, I would recommend to people that have played Pandemic and that are trying to teach Pandemic to other players, don't take their turns for them. Like, don't be the, like, well, you should play this card and go here and do this. Like, and I think we have a good, like, the group of people that we've played with, like, we give suggestions, we talk things out, we run through scenarios, but we ultimately understand, like, the person whose turn it is has agency to make the decision, right? Even if you don't necessarily agree with the decision, but you're trying to, like, figure out what the best possible scenario is and you're working together.
Yeah.
And that's when a cooperative game really shines, is when you're working together to beat the game. Like, there's a system that is causing you grief and strife, and you're working together to solve that. And when you have a good group of people and, you're really solving that puzzle, it's really fun. And like Pandemic, it's easy to explain. It's got a good teach, as they say. It's got good components. It's, and like with the variable difficulty, right? You can play an easy game and then slowly ranch it up as you and the group of players get better. I think it's a really good designed game. It holds up to this date. It's good by itself, and if you like more of it, there's different expansions that add different roles and new mechanics, and like, you can go as crazy as you want. But I mean, I'm sure Pandemic itself is not that expensive.
No, it's not. I think you can get a copy of it. Oh, here, let's find out. I would type it in Chromium, but let's go to Amazon.
The base game is $39 on Amazon. I'm sure you probably can get it cheaper on sale somewhere.
That seems high.
It does seem high to me too.
That seems really high.
And if you ever played Pandemic and you're like, yeah, I like Pandemic, and you have a group of people that like you can regularly board game with, dude, just don't think about it. Just right now, buy Pandemic Legacy Season 1 and don't look back.
Maybe maybe with all other things in this weird time we live in, maybe these things have sort of gone up in price too.
It could be, yeah.
Because I'm looking at some other like board game sites, and yeah, that price seems pretty consistent. It's not like it's not like some weird Amazon tax. Like this legit seems to be a thing that it's more expensive.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and the other thing worth calling out here is there are several flavors of Pandemic as well. There's also Pandemic Fall of Rome, where you're trying to basically stop barbarians from sacking the Roman Empire. Again, very, very similar. There's Pandemic Iberia, which lets you build railroads, and if you know anything about me, I'm really into trains. Mm-hmm. So that one scratches an itch for me.
Reign of Cthulhu.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to get weird with it.
Yeah, I mean, because who doesn't love Cthulhu, right? Oh, I'll tell you what, man. If you really wanted to go all in, I forgot about this. There's Pandemic 10th Anniversary Edition, because this game's been out for 10 years.
Is that the one that comes in the little first aid kit?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, there it is. I see it. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, it actually, the whole game comes in what looks like a little tin first aid kit. But I don't think it comes with, hold on, it doesn't come with, it doesn't come with any expansions, but it's
just a better edition of the original.
Yeah, but
it's got better components.
Well, it has better components, and it includes 2 characters that you could only get from expansions, but they're in the base game because people love them. That's just a really cool collector's item. There's also a couple other Pandemic games like Contagion, where instead of playing the people who cure the disease, you are the disease. You're trying to be the best disease boy. Pandemic: The Cure is a rolling game. I think that's the one that's the rolling game.
Isn't that like the push to luck style dice game?
Yes. Yeah. And then there's Pandemic: Rapid Response, which is the new one that I haven't played yet. So there's definitely quite a few flavors of Pandemic. You really can't go wrong though.
Yeah. There's a Pandemic cinematic universe.
Yeah.
But
the Pandaverse. Nope, that's not what that is.
Yeah, it's good. I'm looking forward to this quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, get a hold of that, besties. You won't be disappointed. Have a board game night,
Yes.
Responsibly.
Yes, responsibly.
Yep. All right, there's one more thing on the list here, and I'm glad you put it on here because I was going to ask you if you were playing this game.
Yeah, so I've started playing Ghost of Tsushima or Tsushima. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a PlayStation 4 exclusive by a development company called Sucker Punch. And honestly, like when this has been in development for like 8 years. And I've seen like the previews and the trailers and stuff, and I was not interested at all. And then the reviews started coming out, and they got some really good reviews. And I was playing just garbage games. I'm like, you know what? Like, let's just throw money at this and see what it's like. And oh my God, Drew! Like this is the best game I've played this year, easily, just hands down. Which I shouldn't be surprised because I really like some of Sucker Punch's other games. Their Infamous series was really good. So like the style of the game is kind of that old school classic samurai movie, right? Where you have samurais and they're fighting and there's lots of duels. Big part of the game is the combat and the sword play. But it's a big open world game where you're basically, doing different missions and stuff. They call them tales. It's so cute. Across one of the islands of Japan. And it's really like one of the first open world games where I'd not bored doing any of them. Even some of the little side missions where you're just like, go here and talk to him and follow these set of footprints. Like eventually it ends in a combat, and the combat is so good that it makes up for all of the other like open world like conventions and stuff. It's fantastic. Some of the things that like I really enjoy about it is the game is nearly HUD-less, right? So there's very little display, very little like gamey bits on the screen. When you kind of open your map and you pick the next thing you're going to do, like there isn't a big like golden icon pointing you in the right direction, or there's no compass telling you where to go. Literally, the wind blows in the direction you're supposed to go. And it picks up particles and it does stuff. And you can swipe up on the PlayStation 4 touchpad to get like a big gust if you can't see anything. But that's, you follow the wind because Samurai is supposed to be one with nature. If you get close to a location on the map that you haven't discovered yet, there's a good chance you'll find like a golden bird, and the golden bird will make noise. And if you follow the golden bird, it will take you to a place you haven't been before it's like undiscovered on your map. There's these little, you find these little fox dens. The foxes are so, oh my God, I could gush about the foxes forever. One of the things you kind of collect are charms. They're kind of like the gamey part of the game. They boost certain stats. Like you might get a charm that makes you better at stealth. You might find a charm that, increases resolve, which is kind of like your, use it for healing and use it for your special attacks and stuff. And you get a lot of these charms by finding fox dens in the environment and then following the fox will basically like run away, and you follow the fox, and you can get to like a little fox shrine. And it's so cute because sometimes the foxes stick around and you can pet them and they make little cute fox noises. Yeah, it's I mean I don't want to gush too long because we're already hitting like 50 minutes here, but man, this is one of those games where I've played it and like I hope this comes to PC so more people can play it. Same way I kind of felt with like when I played like Horizon Zero Dawn. Like this game needs to be in hands of more people, and I'm enjoying playing it. I can see myself platinuming this game and just like doing it all. Which is rare for me because I hardly ever get that urge to like platinum a game. But it's so infectious. Like I find myself like dreaming about it. It's just it's incredible.
Okay, so a couple things. One, okay. So you're out on Assassin's Creed then?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I wanted to bring that back because I'm not a big fan.
Like I said, it was fine. I was playing it. I got it for a really good price. But like I have no desire to go back to that game. Like it felt the need. I never finished the story. I'm totally okay with that. Ghost of Tsushima, whatever the heck it is. I'm gonna I just got onto the final act yesterday, and I'm gonna. It's so good.
Oh, so did you get it when it first came out then?
A couple days afterwards.
So how many hours are you into it then?
I don't know. I played it a lot. There's no counter on it like a lot of other games do, but I've probably played at least 30 hours.
Wow.
And like I essentially like the acts kind of break down into like three different sections of the island as the gist of it is like the Mongols are invading Japan, and it starts out with like the samurais riding their high horse and like, yeah, we're gonna defeat the Mongols, and then you get your ass kicked. And then you're basically like one lone samurai trying to like get allies and basically fight off this Mongol invasion. And basically, I mean, you can watch that. There's, in addition to like the samurai combat where you're being all honorable and you're challenging people, you as a character kind of realize that you can't fight the Mongols without changing your tactics. So you kind of become you become the ghost, and there's more stealth mechanics. It's more like sneaking up behind enemies and assassinating them, but it's a good mix of both. And so each of the three acts are broken into as you're basically working your way north, fighting off the invasion. And with the first act, I did everything on that first piece before I started the second act. So I like basically cleared that part of the island 100%. I still have quite a bit to do on the middle island, but I wanted to kind of get through the story. And like, so I finished the Act 2 stuff, and that story was phenomenal. And now I'm on the third part, and I've still got like, I don't know. I mean, I probably have at least 10 hours of the main story left, and way much of side tales and things to do, and then collectibles to go back and get. Most of my stuff I have is upgraded. I have a few new like armor sets that I can still upgrade. Basically, you find components like bamboo and linen and leather, and you can upgrade stuff. And then you basically collect flowers throughout the environment, and you can use those to get new skins for your existing armor. And some of them look just armor, hats, skins for like your sword, and like the sheath for your sword and your bow. And yeah, it's it's fun. It's fun collecting, just like, like you spend some time just going, I'm gonna just make myself look real pretty. I'm really impressed with how good the game is.
So I've, as somebody who, checks on like video game reviews and scores and news and everything, like it seems like this is pretty critically acclaimed. Like I'm familiar with like the concept of the game, and I've seen like some like video reviews of it. It looks really good, and every once in a while there's like a game that comes out on PlayStation or Xbox that makes me want to get back into console gaming, and this one was really close because I really like the concept here.
Yeah.
But like you said, I'm hoping that eventually it makes it over to the computer. But who's the publisher of this?
Sucker Punch.
I don't know if they make any computer ports, do they?
They have not. They made... I don't think they have. They've made all the Infamous games, which I think those were PlayStation exclusives. And they also... Sly Cooper was another thing they own. But then again, like the company that made Horizon had no intention of bringing that to the PC, and Sony decided to do that as well. I get it. Like, like us PC, not PC, us console plebs we're the lesser form of gaming. But every once in a while, a game comes along. It's like, yeah, if you can get a good deal on a PlayStation, it'd be really hard for me not to recommend this game. Simply just because of just how it's so beautiful. And put a link in there. Like the artwork is done, the acting is well done, the story is good. And like the main part of the combat, especially with the sword play, is this notion of stances. Whereas at the beginning you really only know one stance. I think it's the stone stance, and it's good against other swordsmen, right? Because you've been trained as a samurai and you mostly fight other people with swords. And so like if someone's with a sword is blocking, you have special attacks that kind of stagger them and bring them off balance, and you're optimized for swordsmen. And as you go through and fight the Mongols, and you basically either kill or observe other Mongol leaders, you learn different stances, which are good against one of them's good against people with shields, one of them's good against pikemen or like axemen, and then the final stance you get is good against brutes. And like a big part of the game is you get surrounded by like 12, 15 different opponents all wearing different weapons, and you're kind of just like effortlessly like, okay, I'm gonna go and stagger this swordsman a couple of times, and then I need to turn and block this guy's attack and change my stance because he's carrying a shield, and then attack him. And then, this guy's coming up behind me, so I need to dodge and change my stance to fight the guy with the pike. Like, it's just really kind of free flowing, and like you feel like it's one of those games where you feel like you can feel yourself getting better, and that's always fun. Especially as you start you're learning these different stances and unlocking different techniques, but you're also getting better at the game. So like certain enemies that really gave you like a hard time before, suddenly you're like, oh yeah, I know exactly what they do. I just need to, pull off this move or dodge. And there are these set pieces. They're basically the bosses of the game, where it's a one-on-one big samurai duel. And like those, like you think, how different can each one be, because everyone's wielding a sword, but every boss is unique and has a different style, and you kind of have to learn the timings and how to fight them. It's good. I could gush literally forever, but yeah, I'm gonna stop there. It's good. If you have a PlayStation, Ghost of Tsushima, play it right now.
Man, you're really making... Like I said, every once in a while, there's one that comes along that makes me think,
I mean, like, I was looking forward to Last of Us Part 2 for years. I was so hyped about that game. I enjoyed that game. It was good, but Ghost of Tsushima is better. It's incredible.
Are they?
It's definitely.
Are they doing like any kind of new PlayStation that comes with that game?
I don't know. I haven't seen any bundles yet, but I mean, maybe it's one of those things you kind of hold off until Black Friday, because usually around Black Friday, PlayStation comes out with a bundle. I think last year's PlayStation Black Friday bundle had the PlayStation Slim, Horizon, Spider-Man, and God of War in like one box. And that was just like an incredible deal. So like if you're on the fence, maybe I'd wait till, then to see what they come out for the holidays. But then again, the big push for then could be the PlayStation 5. So,
Do you know, do they still do the whole PlayStation Pro thing? Is that still a thing?
It is. They have two models of the PlayStation now. I think they have the PlayStation Slim and the PlayStation Pro.
What's the difference?
So the Pro basically supports 4K. I have the Pro. I originally bought I have like the launch PlayStation, and then it finally like died on me, so I replaced it with the Pro. The HDR stuff is really nice, but you kind of have to remember, like, the PlayStation Pro can really only do 4K at 30 frames a second.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you're not super inclined on, really having, like, that HDR experience, I would just get the regular one and play in 1080p mode. But, that's really the big difference. It's just the PlayStation 4 can do 4K. The regular one does not. I wonder if there's any good sales. Let's see.
I was just looking. Everything's sold out everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. Like, everything is sold out everywhere. Holy crap.
I really want to play that game. I'm going to go watch more videos of it. I'm going to want to play it.
It's really good. Those prices do not seem.
No.
Yeah, those are definitely resellers jacking up the prices.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Nobody's got time for that.
No, nobody's got time for that. I would just wait until see what comes out around the holidays and see if you can get something.
Why
for cheap.
can't I ever get anything I want?
It's good. It's
okay. Good. All right. Well, I'm happy for you. I want to play that game. I really want to play. I
have all the good toys, and you have nothing.
I have no toys.
You have
I'm over here getting my car fixed. You're over there playing all the fun games. All right, let's wrap this up, man, because I can't believe it's already been an hour. Where does the time go?
I know it's time. Time is meaningless.
Yeah. Speaking of time being meaningless, guess what's still en route to DHL e-commerce?
You will get your RG350M. I guarantee you. You will have it.
Can't handle this. All right.
I'm going to make this quick. We're on the internet, doingthebest.com. We're at Twitter at doingbestpod. You can find me on Twitter at Paul Baylor. And where can we find you, Drew?
Twitter at PITTFURG.
Woo! Thanks for listening, everyone.
All right. Until next time, everybody.